Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Ritchie, the Director of Sponsored Programs at Hamilton. An essential part of my job on the Hill is to help faculty prepare grant proposals to external sponsors. Now, I'm not a scientist and I'm not an expert in any of your academic fields, so most of the heavy lifting when it comes to writing a grant proposal is going to come from you. In this first of what I hope will be several videos, I want to begin by talking about one of the fundamental questions with regard to grant seeking, and that is, why should I do it at all? And in the interest of equal time, I'm going to talk about the reasons why maybe you shouldn't do it. Your time is limited, your time is valuable, so we should have this discussion now before we go any further, right? So, why do it? Grant funding, or as I like to call it, other people's money, it provides you with resources to do things that you just couldn't do given limited institutional funds. The Grant Activity Fund is great, but if everyone on campus were to request, say, $50,000 to support a research project, there wouldn't be enough to go around. And so we look elsewhere for funding. Another good reason to do it, grant funding provides summer research experiences for students. More specifically, it provides summer research jobs for students, which is a direct financial benefit for them. A student can typically earn $4,000 as a summer research assistant. And if you think back to your undergraduate days, $4,000 was a lot of money, right? Students who participate in research, whether they're paid or not, gain valuable experiential learning. This is another good reason to do it. Experiential learning is important to both Hamilton and to our students, and grant funding can help us do that. Finally, while obtaining a grant is not part of the tenure decision, I can say that nobody has ever been denied tenure because they went out and got a grant. Your mileage may vary within your department and its processes, but having a successful grant application in your tenure file is generally a good thing. So why not do it? Well, proposal writing's hard work. For larger grants, it's the equivalent of writing basically an article for a peer-reviewed journal. The core of a National Science Foundation grant proposal, the project narrative, is 15 single-spaced pages, and that doesn't count for the ancillary documents and the data that you're going to need. It's a lot of writing. Unlike grant proposals, other activities, other scholarly activities like publishing, are more likely to succeed. Remember that only about 10 to 20% of grant proposals get funded on their first attempt. Unlike in the Hunger Games, the odds are never in your favor. But your odds do improve with each revision. That being said, just because you didn't get funded on the first attempt, that doesn't mean you're out of luck. But it does take time. It's not uncommon for a proposal to need 1 or 2 revisions, and we might be talking about a span of 2 to 3 years before it receives funding. You need to be uncommonly persistent, and, well, you just need to be stubborn. The takeaway from all this is that you really have to have some fire in the belly if you're going to pursue grant funding. If you go there, you're embarking on a multi-year iterative process. I'm not trying to scare anybody away, but I want you to have a clear and reasonable expectation about what it takes to get funded. The good news is that you'll get plenty of help here at Hamilton, and we'll talk about that in more detail in a future video. In the meantime, keep writing, and we'll talk soon.